Hi. I have made it live and can't wait to connect with you all. Gonna give it just a few seconds for people to jump onto the chat and get myself situated here. I don't remember. I think it was it's been a good week. Yeah, since I've gone live. Oh, and I was traveling and then dog sitting, and the universe certainly had me busy, to say the least. But I had some interesting experiences that are going on, and I'd love to share with you all. Which really came alive at the solar eclipse. And I want to just share my experience with that energy with all of you. So, and I welcome and encourage any and all of you who do join in. I know this is a unique time of day, but it just felt right for me to come on at this time. But I encourage you to share your experiences as well as I share mine. So, where to begin? I believe that we will start with the energy pre-eclipse. So in between the lunar and solar eclipse, that eclipse sandwich, and that is when we connected. Hi, Amy. Hi, Granny Paula. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. And super excited to just share, and I can't wait to hear if any of you. Hi, Jess. Happy crazy energy. Yeah. It's wild and crazy and new, and at the same time what had opened up in me actually had been it's always been with me. It's very ancient and primal energy, and it began for me last week. I went to the beach. Hi, Darren. I went to the beach with some of the women from Salas Farms. Yeah, thank you. That was a beautiful message from Kuan Yin. For those of you who listened to that message, she's been speaking a lot to me, as well as some not new, but a lot of divine feminine deities, energies flowing through me. Sometimes it feels almost warrior-like, and other times it feels extremely nurturing and healing, and it's a little bit of both, and I'll explain the best I can as to what I mean by that. So last week I went to the beach with some of the women from Salas Farms, and okay. And unfortunately, the one friend of ours whose house we were staying at, we had to cut our trip short because she had a sudden death in the family. But we all decided to go to the ocean together before we left to come home, and it was the ocean was extremely calm that day. This would have been last Thursday. The ocean was extremely calm, and I took my shoes and socks off, and I walked right up to the water's edge. And Oh, thank you, Granny Paula. Um, and it was very calm. And I decided I'm going to call in the dolphins. And I was like, I just really felt like I'm energetically calling in the dolphins. And then another beautiful woman shaman that works with us, Eagle Skyfire, had brought her Native American flute out onto the beach and began playing it. And I'm sitting at the water's edge with my hands out like this. And suddenly the energy just took over me and it's calling in the dolphins. And they showed up right away. Hi, Martin. They showed up and the flute music ended. And I began to receive this other melody song from the dolphin energy. Thank you, Amy. And it was just beautiful, flowing, and it was just a short melody over and over and over again. And this happens to me all the time, but it was different this time. This time, it was like the energy of the dolphins were like, share this with your group. So I turned around and walked back up to my crown chakra was like, I turned around and walked back up to the group and I began singing, which is not like me to do, but it just came flowing through me. And they told me, they said, when I turned around to face them, when I left the ocean, when I left the dolphins walking back to them, they said there was something about like my face was beaming and there was this glow and all this energy was coming through me. And it felt good. I felt for a second myself restraining it, keeping it quiet, but the energy was just, the melody was just coming through. So I allowed it. That was my first, not first experience, but first experience of this new energy of not containing, not containing what I am receiving. I can't. So I came home, we did like a mini retreat on Friday. So I was like doing yoga and a whole hour meditation where I took these women into the quantum realm. I didn't. The energy took them somewhere. And when we came back down into our bodies, they were just like, what? Wow, what just happened? And so that was like really beautiful, mystical, magical experiences. And then I went to stayed at my sister's on the weekend and was dog sitting for their little dog, Kylie, who's very old. And she, we call her a hospice dog, you know. So Friday night was tough. Friday night, I felt the energy of, well, for me, it was Saturn, or it was restrictions again, something that was, hi, Sharon. It was something there was money that was supposed to come to me that just wasn't. I mean, it was in holding. Somebody forgot to push the button and I did Mercury retrograde. It's important to communicate, especially when we find that there are things like, hey, you're forgetting somebody, you're forgetting something. So Friday night, I had a burst of anger, not towards that. It was Saturn, Capricorn energy. There's something in me, right? That I have a relationship that I had to deal with on my own with that energetic. And I just let it out. I said, stop putting me in a corner. Stop restricting me. Stop holding from me what is meant to be mine, what is mine. And I was just like, I couldn't control that. And then I finally like felt the energy lift. And that's when I kind of calmed down and I sent messages and to all the various people that had forgotten about me. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just had to have that moment with that energy, right? And don't you know, the next day, Saturday, the eclipse, all my Capricorn friends were reaching out to me and I didn't really get all the messages that they were actually trying to call me and text me. There's 3 of them. all lined up in a row. They all have one birthday after like they're born one day after the each. I've got a whole lineup of Capricorns in my life. So that was cool. But then, okay, so the beautiful energy that was swirling around me on Saturday was undeniable. It was very sacred. It was very spiritual. I could feel Neptune leaving Pisces energy. And sorry, I have nothing against Jesus, but I don't like the feeling from that that message. So I lost my train of thought. Okay, Saturday. I'm gonna try to go a little faster here. It's a build up to what is being brewing in me. It was a beautiful day here. It's been cold, it's been a long winter. Saturday was like 80 degrees and sunny. And all I wanted to do was sit outside in the sun and connect with nature. And don't you know, one of my sister's neighbors, which was like kind of far from their house, had somebody new bought the house, and all I could hear was a wood chipper, very aggressively loud, and chainsaws the whole day from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. all day Saturday. It was very aggressive. And it turns out that they actually cut down all these forsythia bushes and trees, and like, I don't know what they were doing, but butchering the beautiful nature that was outside of this house. And it was just really obnoxious, and I was trying to not let it get to me. But it was actually getting to the dog, Kylie. She had a hard time with that energy. So every so often I'd had to take her inside, give her Reiki, sit with her. And oh my goodness. Lots of strangeness coming through. Oh, thank you, Amy. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at the chat. Sit with the energy. Hi, Dustin. So at this point, I'm juggling between beautiful, mystical, magical, spiritual energy and men and their machines. There's all of this noise, like aggressively crunching and chopping, and I'm such a sensitive that when I hear chainsaws or a tree being chopped down, I feel it in my body, I feel it in my bones, it kills me. So it was and I knew that, and leaf blowers, these are the two things you want to set Paige off into another realm. Those two sounds will do it. And I'm very tolerant to a lot of the things I'm sensitive to, but these are the two things that have been following me since Saturday. So it was all day Saturday. The noise didn't die down until about 6 p.m., 6 or 7 p.m. It was all day. And then Sunday, and I'm trying to think if I missed anything, because there were some transits, this Mars Chiron and Eris energy, there was another wave of something. Oh, I think it was just the aggressive sounds and men and their machines destroying the nature and destroying the peace that I was trying to enjoy for that day. Yeah, leaf blowers are extremely like, get a broom, a rake, or just leave it be. Hi, everybody. So by Sunday, and there was all this energy brewing inside of me from just everything. Sunday, I noticed Kylie, the dog, she does these circles. She just goes around in a circle, and then she finds a place to get stuck, usually in between a chair or something. She needs to be contained. She's blind, she's deaf, she's old, and all she goes by is her senses. So I sat with her, and my hands had been Reiki like hot hands this whole time. I sat with her, contained her, gave her Reiki, and all of a sudden this other language began to come through. And it was a chanting, it was a healing. and it was just coming through so fluidly. And Kylie went to sleep. I got up and just started going through my sister's house with this beautiful language and chanting, clearing the energy of the house. And by the time I got up to my niece's, I didn't even get into her bedroom all the way. I was just sort of outside of her room, and her TV turned on all by itself. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Um, there's something, a sextile between Saturn and Uranus. Yep, yep, yep. So, and that was my desire to break free from this aggressive noise and sound. So I began this, I guess you would call it light language. I don't know. It also feels very, I understand the language that was coming through. That is still coming through. And it's very tribal. So that happened. That was Sunday. And then I had a beautiful visit and a hike with a friend. And that was very beautiful and spiritual. And we got out in the nature and by the lake. And so I was able to clear away all the noise from the wood chippers and the chainsaws and the leaf blowers from the weekend. And then yesterday I wake up and then they're on my, like the company that works for the power company was on my road doing the same thing. They still are. The wood chippers, the chainsaws, I can't escape them. No matter where I go, they followed me. Yesterday, today, they came to my house and started to cut my grandmother tree that I speak to and sing to all the time. And I just sat on my deck with my hands on my mouth like, oh, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry to the tree. And the man that was up there in the bucket, like he made eye contact with me and he smiled. And I smiled back. And all of a sudden the bucket went down. I was like, thank God, they're done. Of course, I had to listen to the wood chipper and stuff. But that at that point, it really, this language, this chanting began to just come out of me nonstop all day yesterday. I shared it with Dustin. I shared it with another friend of mine that I know has been also having this experience for the last 6 years or so. And so we did connect on that level. Like, yeah, we kind of have done this since childhood. And there's a lot of hand signal. My hands do things anyway while I'm talking, but it's an energy that really just takes over and it's very healing. It is very powerful. And it was giving out a healing frequency first it was to the trees, and then it went towards those who are in need of this frequency. And then it went into song, into singing. And we had some massive thunderstorms. We were supposed to get thunderstorms earlier in the afternoon, and when my other friend and I connected and we started to speak this light language together, those storms, we watched them. They went away from us and we didn't get them. They did finally hit. We did get hit. I don't know what time it was. It was when the sun was going down, but it was beautiful. The clouds were doing some incredible things. I did post a little bit of it on YouTube here just because I couldn't get away from the energy that was just all encompassing. And yeah, so then I woke up this morning and I thought I was free from the chainsaws and wood chippers, and they were back again this morning, and also came out of everywhere this language and this song, singing that is very familiar, as very healing, it's very different. And it took me a while. I finally started recording it because I just felt really like called to record it. And then I started to share it with just a few people. coming out of my comfort zone. And even in some of the songs, there was this language that would come through, and it would say, "Let go, let go, let go, let it out, let go." And oh, so I did, and it feels really good. So I don't know where that's taking me. I don't know if it'll come through when I'm doing readings, but so just to let you know, when I get into this energy of channeling messages, I can't control what comes through. I never really have been able to, but I guess I was able to a degree, but it wasn't doing me any favors because there's like these powerful energies that I do tap into to share. So, mm, hello, hello, hello. Let's see, what are you guys saying here? Mhm. Mother Nature likes to remind us every now and then who's really in control. Yeah. Dustin, I hope you'll record and post the audio. I truly believe it will activate those who hear it. I believe Tribe here would benefit from the freedom frequency streaming through you. Yeah, that's I'll probably do that. I definitely know that it's something that it's not for me to contain and hold. It's definitely something to share. And I did break out of my comfort zone and shared with a few other, people that I knew would understand what was going on within me. And I got a lot of congratulations. Like, you just broke through like one of your own boundaries with yourself. And so that was beautiful. That was beautiful. What else did we have going on here? Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So we had the new moon partial solar eclipse in Aries. How did you guys feel through that energy? Did you have any unique experiences of your own through the eclipse energy? There was a lot. The sun was doing a lot. It still is. Honestly, sleep is either I can't stop sleeping or I can only sleep for an hour and I'm wide awake again. So it's been on and off. But the heat that my body is generating in sleep time, especially, is unreal. Like, talk about night sweats. It was just absolutely, it still is. Just like, wow. Martin says heavy. Uh, Shauna, ringing of the ears is super stupid, super stupid emotional. Yeah, well, it's good to feel all the feelings. And this is something that I don't think we can suppress any longer. So, whatever you're feeling, allow yourself, give yourself the grace to feel it because there's a reason for it. We are breaking out of the conditioned mind more and more and more. We are in this new realm of energy that is just about to birth. For some of us, it's already birthed, just the sneak peek. But with Neptune, yeah, that was Sunday. Neptune moving into Aries after a 14 years in its home sign of Pisces. That's a big shift. But I feel that Mars being in Cancer, that's our masculine energy within us all, is emotional in Cancer, does not know how to navigate the waters, the heavy waters of emotional waters of Cancer. And so Mars can get irritated, frustrated. And we've got to remember, we've got still some wicked, wild, crazy Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde. This has been the wackiest Mercury. I think I say that every time, but this one, I feel like because of the Neptune transit, this Mercury retrograde is just like, you gotta laugh. Like, nothing is working the way that we want it to, or we think it should. It's the mind, right? Amy says, really had to rest. Oh, flu-like symptoms. Oh, I'm sorry. Just been having night sweats for almost a week. Yep, me too. Um, Darren, for me, it was difficult to navigate, but decided why fight it? And thank you. Yes, yep, yep. Yes, all conjunct too. Mercury and Venus are now in Pisces, conjunct retrograding together. And they're also, Mercury's also conjunct Neptune. So yeah, that is some convoluted inside out, upside down universal energy right there. And so it is, you can either fight against it and get extremely frustrated and angry and emotional, or on the flip side, I mean, some people will just go into complete escapism. Other people like me, you just throw your hands up like, okay, I mean, you just got to laugh. Even today, when the wood chipper guys came back, I just laughed. I'm just like, okay, here we go again. But we also have Saturn in this sextile to Uranus, and that is that energy of internal, and this is also collective, of this need to break free. And for me, a lot of the chantings, a lot of the messages that I was receiving in another language were, and they kept tapping me on my third eye and my head, were about breaking free from the prison of our own mind that had been programmed, that had been tainted with, for our lifetime and lifetimes past, our parents and grandparents. And this energy is like, I need to break free. I need to break free from myself, my own beliefs. Forget about the outside world and the rules and rigidity. What do you believe? These old traditions, these old rules that make no sense anymore. This energy is just like, enough. Oh, that's what it was. I had that come up too. Sunday night. It was just that energy of like, I've had enough. I've had enough of this this monkey business, this crazy, like, enough. I want peace. I want my sovereignty back. There was a lot that I wanted back, but I had to really just shout it out and get that. For me, it was like righteous rage that came through. A few pockets in between this. So, like, talk about high highs and low lows. Well, I wasn't low, but that when I got triggered in certain pain points, and Eris is also an Aries, and that is our struggles. It is the feminine energy, but it is like the struggles for survival, basically, along with Chiron, 22 degrees Aries, the core deep wounds. It's like these little pockets of energy, like have like an electric probe, and they're just probing us in those really tender spots, or finding the wounds that we didn't realize we were still carrying. That's another one for many people. Out with the old, in with the new. That's right. That's right. Um, just I'm learning to throw my hands up and surrender. I know, like, what can you do? When you know that you have exhausted every human possibility to try and work with energy or make something go a certain way, and dot my I's, cross my T's, I made all the phone calls, I filled out all the paperwork, I asked all the right questions, and still I'm in this nut show of, like, it's like a circus right now, right? That's when you're just like, okay, all right, there's something. We're getting a good dose of seeing our patterns and our unhealthy habits, especially when things are really wacky like they are right now. Martin still is. Thank Goddess, the moon's advanced a bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where is the moon today? Because Black Moon Lilith, that was another one. And I knew this transit was coming up. I did not know how it was going to affect me. But Black Moon Lilith which is basically the dark side of the moon within ourselves, hidden aspects of our deepest, darkest fears and suppression, moved into Scorpio. 0 degrees Scorpio. Oh my goddess. Yes. Talk about like, and I was like, oh no, I'm a Scorpio sun. Where's 0 degrees? Where's 0 degrees Scorpio in my chart? First house, myself. All right, let's see how this one's going to play out. And it did. Sunday night, I had a knee-jerk reaction to, and I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot just because to keep privacy for other people, but it really is like something that appeared to be a certain way, and that was where the deep fear was within myself, was how am I affecting other people? Because my energy, just me being me, has all kinds of effects on people, but certain people I still tiptoe around a little bit when it comes to that, and I don't want to be, but there's that fear of like, I don't want to set this person off. I do not want to set this person off because I know that they're going through something. And anyway, it came back on me. I'm like, that's it. That was my deep fear about myself, Black Moon Lilith. That was a hard one. That was a really hard one. Taurus. Okay, moon's in Taurus. Thank you, John. I mean, I typically, and these are things just like the channelings of the messages in another language, the channelings of the songs coming through. I'm breaking through a comfort zone and allowing all of me, or all of the energy that I'm designed to pick up and receive and then give. It's so strong, I can't hold it in anymore. I can for a little bit, but it's so uncomfortable, and I recognize it, I see it, and I'm like, okay. This is the time to just jump into the abyss of whatever energy invites. It's an invitation. It's not a possession. It does not take over. I will say that. It is beautiful. It has been with me. They have been with me my whole life, but sharing that has been my own little secret for a long time. And now it's not. So anything else you want to talk about? Yeah, that Black Moon Lilith. Yeah, that was a tough one. But just having that awareness. This is a lot of, for those of us who have been on this spiritual path of just evolving and really breaking free from the conditioned mind. This is a time of liberation. This is a time to really kind of sit. Today specifically is kind of a day to, if you can, and a lot of times the universe will turn things around so that you do have that time to yourself, that time for you to connect to your higher self, that time for you to connect to nature, and embrace that. Notice the patterns in your mind. Like I was talking about the last live, the Mars, the distorted, or distracted, Dustin, the distracted masculine energy within, that's like, you should be doing something. You should be doing something. That part of me is really getting turned off finally. And I know when to act and when not to act. See, when we have Venus come back into play, going direct, I really do feel that many of us will have our masculine and feminine energy within ourselves in a much more balanced way where we can really connect to our intuitive side, our ability to read into and feel into everything that life is bringing to us, and trust that flow, and when the time comes to take a step or take an action, the feminine energy within notifies the masculine energy within, okay, go. That's how we're designed to work. We've gone against our true nature. And again, I'm not talking genders, I'm talking energy. We've gone against our true nature for too long, and we're coming back to our natural abilities. It does take time for us to thank you, Amy. It does take time for us to come to terms with the duality within ourselves. I love the depiction on this card here because it sort of looks like the cell in the body that is splitting. This is the difference between the two worlds that we are living in right now. We're always given a choice as to, which do we choose to go forward in. Ace of Discs is that new opportunity, new fresh start. And I think that for many of us, it feels like we're getting good glimpses and even previews. We have been. That's sort of helping us along the journey of the undoing, right? The undoing of all that has been programmed and conditioned into us. And a lot of that stuff is still hidden. So don't think, even myself, I'm talking to myself too, don't think for a second that, I've got everything cleared out and now it can just go ahead. Because all these transits, even though they're frustrating, even though they bring up a lot of emotion in us, they are here to help us. There's always a choice. Do I really need to keep thinking this way? Do I really need to keep perceiving this way? And with the Aries energy, this is about the self. What do you think about yourself? What is your self-talk truly? Especially when you got this weird retrograde, when things are like undoing themselves, right? And we don't have control over that. Amy, sometimes I wake up feeling like I'm on a different timeline and then things glitch and I'm back on the higher timeline where I feel more aligned. Yeah. And that's a good way of depicting it. With Neptune and Aries, I'm wondering, wait, what do I say? What will happen to organized religion? Interesting. Well, as we all know, a lot of that's already getting exposed. So it's just going to be a collective choice. How many people are going to be able to keep their head in the sand? I mean, some will, but they're going to get sucked back into such an old, dark age